Beloved, as you settle your heart in this quiet moment, I want you to gently receive this truth. God's hand of protection is resting over you and your family right now. No shadow of harm, no whisper of fear, no hidden attack will prevail, because the Lord Himself stands watch over your household. Even before this prayer began, He was already surrounding you with peace. So breathe slowly. Let your thoughts become still, and know that you are safe in His presence today. This morning we come before God with an atomic prayer, a focused, powerful surrender of every negative thought that has tried to weigh you down. Those thoughts that whisper doubt, fear, anxiety, and confusion. They do not have authority over your mind. The peace of God is not distant from you. It is ready to fill every space where worry once lived. And as you listen, I believe the Holy Spirit is already quieting the noise within you, replacing it with a calm that cannot be explained, only received. I sense that some of you have been carrying silent battles in your mind. Questions that won't rest, fears that return at night, thoughts that feel louder than your faith. But today, God is gently reminding you, you are not alone in this. His peace is not fragile. It is strong, steady, and unshakable. As we pray, every negative cycle is being interrupted. Every restless thought is being brought under His authority. And a new stillness is beginning to rise within your spirit. So stay here for a moment. Don't rush this presence. Let God minister to you deeply. And if this prayer is already touching your heart, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel for daily prayers that strengthen your spirit. Also, write Amen in the comments as a declaration of your faith, and share one thing you're believing God for today. There is power in agreement, and your voice matters in the presence of God. Now, gently open your heart even more, because today is not just another morning. This is a divine moment where your mind is being renewed, your peace is being restored, and your spirit is being aligned with heaven. The same God who calms storms is calming you right now. And as you continue in this prayer, you will walk into this day not with heaviness, but with clarity, confidence, and the quiet assurance that God is with you. There are moments in life when the mind feels louder than the world around us, when thoughts begin to echo in ways that disturb the quiet places within the soul, and in those moments it can feel as though you are surrounded by voices you did not invite, whispers that carry fear, doubt, anxiety, and confusion. Yet even here in this deeply human experience, there is a gentle truth that God wants you to remember. Your mind does not belong to fear. Your thoughts are not ruled by darkness, and your inner world is not beyond His authority. God has given you a mind that can be anchored in His peace, and when negative thoughts attempt to rise, they are not final, they are not permanent, and they are not stronger than the voice of God that speaks calm over your life. As you sit in this quiet awareness, imagine God drawing close, not in a forceful way, but in a tender and intentional presence, like a loving father who sits beside you and gently places his hand over your restless thoughts. He does not rush you, He does not overwhelm you, but He begins to bring order where there has been noise. The authority of God is not loud in the way the world understands power. It is steady, unwavering, and deeply calming. When He speaks, storms settle, hearts become still, and minds that were once overwhelmed begin to find clarity again. This is the authority that is being released over your thoughts right now, not to condemn you for what you have been thinking, but to free you from what has been weighing you down. Negative thoughts often come quietly at first, almost unnoticed, slipping into the mind through moments of weakness, fatigue, or uncertainty. They may begin as small questions. What if something goes wrong? Or, what if I'm not enough? But if left unattended, they grow, they repeat themselves, and they begin to shape the way you see yourself and your future. Yet God never intended for your mind to be a place where fear builds a home. He designed your thoughts to be aligned with truth, to reflect His promises, and to carry peace rather than distress. And so today, as you become aware of His presence, you are not just listening to comforting words. You are stepping into a moment where your thoughts are being gently realigned under divine authority. There is something powerful that happens when you begin to recognize that not every thought deserves your agreement. Some thoughts are simply passing shadows, trying to gain your attention, trying to pull you into a place where you feel unsettled and unsure. But you have been given the ability, through God's Spirit, to pause, to notice, and to release those thoughts without allowing them to take root. You do not have to fight them with force. You do not have to become anxious about being anxious, but you can quietly surrender them to God, trusting that His peace is stronger than anything that tries to disturb you. In this surrender, there is no struggle, only a gentle exchange. Your worry for His calm, your fear for His assurance, your heaviness for His lightness. As you breathe slowly and allow this truth to settle within you, you may begin to notice a shift, subtle at first, like the early light of morning beginning to touch the darkness of night. This shift is not something you are forcing. It is something God is doing within you. He is reminding your mind of who you are, of who He is, and of what is truly real. The negative thoughts that once felt overwhelming begin to lose their intensity, not because they disappeared instantly, but because they are no longer being fed by your attention. Instead, your focus is gently turning toward God's presence, and in that presence, there is a peace that does not need to prove itself, a calm that simply exists and surrounds you. There is a quiet authority in knowing that God is greater than every thought that tries to rise against you. His truth does not compete with fear. It overcomes it without effort. His peace does not argue with anxiety. It replaces it with stillness. And as you continue to rest in this awareness, you may find that the things that once felt so heavy are no longer as powerful as they seemed. This is not because you suddenly became stronger on your own, but because you allowed God to take His rightful place in your mind. You invited Him into your thoughts, and in doing so, you made space for His peace to flow freely within you. Sometimes, the hardest part of silencing negative thoughts is not the thoughts themselves, but the habit of listening to them. The mind becomes familiar with certain patterns, certain ways of thinking, and even when those patterns bring discomfort, they can feel difficult to break. But God is patient with you in this process. He does not expect instant perfection. He does not demand that you never experience another negative thought, but He gently guides you toward a new way of thinking, a new rhythm of peace. Each time you choose to pause instead of react, to surrender instead of hold on, you are allowing His authority to reshape your inner world in a way that is lasting and deeply healing. You may not notice the full transformation all at once, but over time, you will begin to see the difference. The thoughts that once lingered will pass more quickly. The fears that once felt overwhelming will feel smaller, and the peace that once seemed distant will become more familiar. This is the work of God within you, quiet and steady, bringing restoration to your mind in ways that go beyond what you can see. And as this transformation continues, you will find yourself responding to life differently, not from a place of anxiety, but from a place of calm confidence, knowing that your thoughts are no longer leading you, but are being guided by the presence of God. There is also a deep comfort in knowing that you are not alone in this journey. God is not watching from a distance. waiting for you to figure things out on your own. He is actively involved, gently guiding your thoughts, reminding you of His promises, and surrounding you with His peace. Even in moments when your mind feels unsettled again, He remains constant, never leaving, never withdrawing His presence. You can always return to this place of quiet surrender, knowing that He is ready to bring peace again, just as He is doing now. As you continue to rest in this moment, allow yourself to feel the weight lifting, the tension easing, the noise becoming softer. This is not something you have to earn. It is something you are receiving. God's authority over your thoughts is not based on your strength, but on His nature. He is the God of peace, the God of order, the God who brings calm where there has been chaos. And as you remain open to His presence, you are allowing that peace to settle deeply within you, reaching places that words cannot fully describe. Let this be a gentle reminder that your mind is not a battlefield you must fight alone, but a space where God desires to dwell with you. His presence brings light into every corner, and in that light, there is no room for darkness to remain. The thoughts that once felt so powerful begin to fade, not because you forced them out, but because they cannot stay where God's peace is fully welcomed. And so you rest, not in effort, but in trust, allowing Him to continue His work within you. There is a quiet confidence that begins to rise when you realize that you are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are not defined by them. You are not controlled by them, and you are not limited by them. Through God's authority, you have the ability to experience a mind that is calm, clear, and at peace. This does not mean that life will never bring challenges, but it means that those challenges will not have the power to disturb your inner peace in the same way. You will carry a stillness within you that remains steady, even when the world around you feels uncertain. As this truth settles deeper into your heart, you may begin to notice a sense of freedom, a lightness that was not there before. This is the freedom that comes from releasing what was never meant to stay, from letting go of thoughts that were never meant to define you. And in that release, you are making space for something greater, something stronger, something more lasting. The peace of God that fills your mind and stays with you, gently guiding you through each moment of your day. Even now, as you continue to listen and reflect, allow yourself to remain in this place of calm awareness. There is no need to rush, no need to move quickly. God is here with you, quietly working, gently restoring, and lovingly guiding your thoughts into alignment with His peace. And as you remain in this stillness, you are experiencing the beginning of a deeper transformation, one that will continue to unfold in the moments ahead, bringing clarity where there was confusion, calm where there was anxiety, and peace where there was once unrest. There is a peace that the world talks about, a kind of quiet that depends on circumstances being right, on everything falling into place, on life moving smoothly without interruption. But there is another kind of peace, deeper and more steady, a peace that does not rise and fall with situations, a peace that remains even when life feels uncertain. This is the peace that comes from God, the peace that surpasses understanding, the kind that gently settles over your heart and mind without needing explanation. It is not something you have to chase or earn. It is something you are invited to receive, right here, in this very moment, as you allow your heart to slow down and your thoughts to become still. As you sit quietly, take a slow breath and notice how your body begins to relax, how your shoulders soften, how your mind begins to loosen its grip on everything it has been holding. This is the beginning of peace, not forced, not rushed, but gently unfolding within you. God's peace does not come in a hurry. It comes like a calm wave, steady and sure, touching every part of your being with a quiet assurance that you are held, that you are seen, and that you are not alone. Even if there are things in your life that you cannot fully understand right now, even if questions remain unanswered, this peace does not wait for clarity to arrive before it settles within you. Sometimes the mind tries to make sense of everything before allowing itself to rest. It asks questions. It searches for reasons. It tries to predict outcomes, hoping that understanding will bring relief. But the peace of God does not depend on your ability to figure everything out. It gently bypasses the need for complete understanding and meets you exactly where you are, offering calm in the middle of uncertainty. You do not have to solve every problem before you can experience peace. You do not have to wait for everything to make sense. God's peace is available to you now, in the middle of your questions, in the middle of your waiting, in the middle of your journey. There is something deeply comforting about knowing that you can rest, even when life is not fully resolved. You can breathe, even when answers have not yet arrived. You can feel calm, even when circumstances remain the same. This is not because your situation has changed, but because something within you is shifting. God is gently reminding you that your peace is not tied to what is happening around you, but to who is present with you. And as you become more aware of His presence, the things that once felt overwhelming begin to lose their hold on you. You may have experienced moments where your thoughts seem to race ahead, creating scenarios, imagining outcomes, filling your mind with possibilities that bring more worry than comfort. This is a natural response when the mind is searching for control. But God's peace invites you into a different way of living, a way that is not driven by fear of the unknown, but anchored in trust. Trust that God is already ahead of you, that He sees what you cannot see, that He understands what you cannot yet understand, and that He is gently guiding you, even in ways that are not immediately visible. As you allow this trust to grow, you may begin to notice that your thoughts become quieter, not because you forced them to stop, but because they no longer need to carry the weight they once did. The pressure to figure everything out begins to lift, replaced by a gentle confidence that God is in control. This confidence is not loud or forceful. It is calm and steady, like a quiet knowing that rests deep within your spirit. And in that knowing, you find space to breathe again, space to rest, space to simply be. There is a beauty in this kind of peace, a softness that touches every part of your life. It changes the way you see things, the way you respond to challenges, the way you move through your day. Instead of reacting from a place of stress or fear, you begin to respond from a place of calm assurance. Instead of being overwhelmed by what might happen, you find yourself grounded in what is true right now. That God is with you, that His presence surrounds you, and that His peace is holding you steady. This peace does not mean that you will never feel emotions. It does not mean that you will never face difficulties. But it does mean that those emotions and difficulties will no longer define your inner state. They will come and go, but the peace of God will remain. It will be there in the quiet moments, in the busy moments, in the uncertain moments, gently reminding you that you are safe in His care. And as you continue to walk in this peace, it becomes more familiar, more natural, more a part of who you are. There is also a gentle invitation within this peace, an invitation to let go of what you have been holding on to so tightly. Sometimes, without realizing it, we carry burdens that were never meant to be ours to carry. We hold on to worries, fears, and concerns, thinking that by holding them, we are somehow protecting ourselves or preparing for what might come. But in reality, these burdens weigh us down, making it harder to experience the freedom that God desires for us. And so, in His kindness, He invites us to release them, to place them in His hands, and to trust that He is more than able to take care of them. As you begin to release these burdens, you may feel a sense of lightness, a gentle lifting of the heaviness that has been pressing on your heart. This is not because everything has suddenly changed, but because you are no longer carrying it alone. God is taking what you have given Him, and in its place, He is giving you peace. This exchange is not complicated. It is simple and deeply personal. It happens in quiet moments like this, when you choose to trust, when you choose to let go, when you choose to rest in His presence. There is something deeply reassuring about knowing that God's peace is not fragile. It is not easily shaken. It is not dependent on perfect conditions. And it does not fade when challenges arise. It is strong, steady, and enduring. And as you continue to receive this peace, you begin to carry it with you into every part of your life. It becomes a quiet foundation beneath you, something you can stand on, something you can return to whenever you feel unsettled. You may find that even in situations that would have once caused anxiety, there is now a different response within you. Instead of panic, there is calm. Instead of fear, there is trust. Instead of confusion, there is a quiet clarity. This is the work of God's peace within you, gently transforming the way you experience life. It is not something that happens all at once, but something that grows over time, becoming stronger and more evident with each passing day. As you continue to walk in this peace, you may also begin to notice how it affects those around you. Peace has a way of extending beyond you, touching the lives of others in subtle but meaningful ways. Your calm presence can bring comfort to someone else. Your steady spirit can create a sense of safety. Your quiet trust can inspire hope. This is the beauty of God's peace. It is not only for you, but it flows through you, becoming a source of blessing to those around you. In this moment, allow yourself to fully receive what God is offering you. There is nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to achieve, nothing you need to fix. Simply be present, simply be open, simply allow His peace to settle within you. Let it fill your thoughts, your heart, your spirit. Let it quiet every restless place within you, bringing a sense of calm that goes beyond words. And as you remain here, resting in this gentle awareness, know that this peace is not temporary. It is not something that will fade when this moment ends. It is something you can carry with you, something you can return to, something that will continue to grow within you as you stay connected to God's presence. It is a peace that surpasses understanding, a peace that holds you steady, a peace that reminds you again and again that you are safe, that you are loved, and that you are never alone. There is a quiet assurance that begins to settle within the heart when you truly understand that God's protection is not distant, not uncertain, and not conditional, but present, constant, and deeply personal. It is not something that comes and goes depending on circumstances, but something that surrounds you even when you are unaware of it. As you sit in this gentle moment, allow your heart to receive this truth. God is watching over you, and He is watching over your family with a care that is tender, intentional, and unwavering. His protection is not rushed or loud, but calm and steady, like a covering that rests over your life, bringing peace to your thoughts and stillness to your spirit. When the mind begins to wander into places of worry, imagining what could go wrong, thinking about the safety of loved ones, or carrying silent concerns that are never fully spoken, it can feel as though you are holding everything together on your own. But God never asked you to carry that weight. He gently reminds you that His protection extends beyond what you can see, beyond what you can control, and beyond what you can understand. Even in moments when your mind tries to create scenarios filled with fear, His presence remains unchanged, quietly surrounding you and your family, with a peace that does not depend on your ability to manage every outcome. There is something deeply comforting about knowing that God sees what you cannot see. He understands the details that are hidden from your awareness, the moments that have not yet unfolded, the paths that are still ahead. And in His wisdom, He is already at work, guiding, protecting, and preserving. You may not always feel it, you may not always notice it, but His hand is there, gently leading and covering every step. This understanding begins to soften the urgency in your thoughts, replacing anxious questions with a quiet trust that God is in control. Sometimes, fear enters the mind in subtle ways, not always as a loud voice, but as a quiet tension, a lingering thought, a gentle unease that sits beneath the surface. It may come when you think about your family, when you consider their well-being, when you wonder if everything will be all right. These thoughts can feel heavy, as though they are asking you to stay alert, to stay concerned, to stay ready for something that might go wrong. But God's invitation is different. He calls you into a place of rest, not because He is unaware of potential dangers, but because He is greater than them. As you begin to trust in His protection, something within you starts to shift. The need to constantly think, to constantly anticipate, to constantly worry begins to loosen its grip. In its place, there is a quiet confidence, not based on circumstances, but on God's character. You begin to realize that His protection is not something you have to maintain. It is something He provides. Your role is not to control every situation, but to trust the One who already holds every situation in His hands. There is a gentle strength in this kind of trust. It does not make you passive. It does not make you careless, but it frees you from the burden of fear. You can still care deeply for your family. You can still be present, attentive, and loving, but without the weight of anxiety pressing on your heart. Your love becomes lighter. Your presence becomes calmer. Your thoughts become more peaceful. This is what happens when you allow God's protection to replace your worry. When you choose to rest in His care, instead of trying to carry everything on your own. You may begin to notice that your mind becomes quieter, not because there are no more thoughts, but because those thoughts no longer carry the same intensity. The fears that once felt urgent now feel distant. The worries that once felt overwhelming now feel manageable. This is not because life has become completely predictable, but because your perspective has changed. You are no longer looking at life through the lens of fear, but through the lens of trust. And in that trust there is peace. God's protection is not only over your physical life, but also over your mind. He cares about your thoughts, your emotions, your inner world. He does not want your mind to be a place of constant tension, filled with worries and fears. He desires for your thoughts to be a place of peace, where you can rest, where you can feel safe, where you can experience calm. And so, as you continue to trust Him, you are allowing His protection to extend into your mind, gently quieting every anxious thought and bringing a sense of stillness that is deeply refreshing. There is also a beautiful truth in knowing that God's protection over your family does not depend on your constant attention. You do not have to think about them every moment in order for them to be safe. You do not have to worry in order to protect them. God is already present with them, even when you are not. He is watching over them in ways that go beyond your understanding, guiding them, covering them, and keeping them safe. This realization brings a deep sense of relief, allowing you to release the tension that comes from feeling responsible for everything. As you sit in this awareness, allow yourself to gently release every concern you have been carrying about your loved ones. You do not have to hold on to it any longer. You can place it in God's hands, trusting that He cares for them even more than you do. This is not a loss of control, but a gain of peace. It is a shift from trying to manage everything on your own to allowing God to take His rightful place as the protector and keeper of your family. You may find that as you release these concerns, your heart begins to feel lighter, your breathing becomes slower, your thoughts become calmer. This is the natural response to letting go of what was never meant to be carried alone. God's presence fills the space that was once occupied by worry, bringing a gentle calm that settles deep within you. And in this calm, you begin to experience a new way of being, one that is rooted in trust rather than fear. There is a quiet beauty in this kind of peace, a sense of safety that does not come from knowing everything will go perfectly, but from knowing that God is present in every moment. Even when challenges arise, even when things do not go as planned, His protection remains. It does not disappear in difficult times. It does not weaken under pressure. It remains steady, constant, and reliable. And as you continue to walk in this awareness, you begin to carry that sense of safety with you, wherever you go. Your thoughts begin to align with this truth, becoming less focused on what could go wrong and more centered on the presence of God. Instead of imagining worst-case scenarios, you begin to rest in the assurance that God is already there, already working, already protecting. This shift in thinking does not happen all at once, but gradually, gently, as you continue to choose trust over fear. And with each choice, your mind becomes more peaceful, more settled, more aligned with God's presence. There is also a deep sense of comfort in knowing that God's protection is not limited by distance. Whether your loved ones are near or far, whether they are within your sight or beyond it, His presence surrounds them just the same. You do not have to be physically present in order for them to be covered. God is already there, already watching, already caring. This understanding allows you to release the tension that comes from separation, replacing it with a quiet confidence that they are safe in His hands. As you continue to rest in this truth, allow yourself to fully receive the peace that comes with it. There is no need to rush, no need to move quickly. Simply be present, simply be still, simply allow God's protection to settle into your heart and mind. Let it quiet every anxious thought. Let it soften every tension. Let it bring a sense of calm that goes beyond what words can fully express. This moment is not about trying harder or doing more. It is about receiving, about allowing, about trusting. God is already at work, already surrounding you and your family with His protection. And as you remain open to His presence, you are allowing that protection to bring peace into every part of your life, gently guiding your thoughts, calming your heart, and creating a sense of safety that remains steady and unshaken, even as the day unfolds around you. There are moments when the weight of anxiety feels quiet but constant, like a gentle pressure that never fully leaves, resting beneath your thoughts, shaping the way you see the day ahead. It does not always come as panic or fear, but as a subtle unease, a tension that lingers in the background, quietly asking questions, quietly searching for control. And yet, in this very space, God meets you not with urgency, not with pressure, but with a calm invitation to release what you have been holding and to receive something far greater in its place. As you sit in this still moment, allow yourself to notice what you have been carrying. Not to analyze it, not to judge it, but simply to become aware of it. The thoughts that have been repeating, the concerns that have been circling, the quiet worries that have stayed with you longer than you expected. You do not have to push them away, and you do not have to hold on to them. You can simply bring them into God's presence, gently placing them before Him, trusting that He sees them clearly and understands them fully. There is something deeply freeing about realizing that you do not have to carry anxiety in order to be responsible, and you do not have to worry in order to care. Sometimes the mind holds on to anxiety as if it is doing something useful, as if by thinking more, by anticipating more, by preparing for every possible outcome, it can create safety. But God offers a different kind of safety, one that does not come from constant mental effort, but from resting in His presence. His peace does not require you to exhaust yourself. It invites you to be still. As you begin to release anxiety, you may notice that it does not disappear all at once. It may loosen slowly, like a hand that has been holding tightly for a long time, gradually learning to open again. This is okay. There is no rush in this process. God is patient with you, meeting you in each small moment of release, each quiet decision to let go, each gentle step toward peace. You are not expected to do this perfectly, only to remain open, only to continue allowing His presence to guide you. Take a slow breath, and as you do, imagine that breath carrying away the tension you have been holding. Not forcing it out, not pushing it away, but gently releasing it. And as you exhale, imagine God's peace flowing in, filling the space that anxiety once occupied. This is not just a calming exercise. It is a quiet exchange, a surrender of what burdens you, and a receiving of what restores you. With each breath, you are allowing your body to relax, your mind to settle, your spirit to become more aware of God's gentle presence. There is a beautiful stillness that begins to form when anxiety is released, a calm that does not need to explain itself, a quiet that simply exists. This stillness is not empty, it is filled with God's presence. It is a place where your thoughts can rest, where your heart can soften, where your spirit can breathe. And in this stillness, you begin to experience a different way of being. One that is not driven by urgency, but guided by peace. You may notice that your thoughts begin to slow down, no longer racing ahead or circling back in worry. Instead, they move gently, like a calm stream, steady and clear. This is the effect of God's peace within you. It does not force your thoughts to stop, but it changes the way they flow. It brings clarity where there was confusion, calm where there was tension, and a sense of quiet assurance that you are held, that you are safe, that you are not alone. As you continue to release anxiety, you may also begin to notice how it has been affecting your body. The subtle tightness, the shallow breathing, the sense of restlessness that sometimes goes unnoticed. And as God's peace begins to fill you, these physical sensations start to soften. Your shoulders relax, your breath deepens, your body becomes more at ease. This is a gentle reminder that peace is not only something you think, but something you feel, something that touches every part of you. There is also a deeper level of release that begins to take place, one that goes beyond surface worries and reaches into the deeper places of your heart. Sometimes anxiety is connected to past experiences, to moments that left a mark, to fears that were formed over time. God's peace is able to reach even these places, gently bringing healing, gently restoring what has been unsettled. You do not have to revisit every detail. You do not have to understand everything fully. You only need to remain open, allowing His presence to do what only He can do. In this process, trust becomes a quiet companion, not a forced belief, but a gentle confidence that grows as you continue to experience God's peace. You begin to trust that you do not have to control everything. that you do not have to anticipate every outcome, that you can rest even when things are not fully certain. This trust is not built on knowing what will happen next, but on knowing who is with you in every moment. As you walk in this peace, you may find that situations that once triggered anxiety no longer have the same effect. Not because they have changed, but because you have changed. Your response becomes calmer. Your perspective becomes clearer. Your heart becomes steadier. You begin to move through your day with a sense of quiet confidence, knowing that whatever comes, you are not facing it alone. There is also a gentle awareness that begins to grow within you, an awareness of God's presence in everyday moments. In the quiet pauses, in the simple tasks, in the spaces between activities, you begin to notice His peace surrounding you. It is not something distant or unreachable, but something close and constant. And as you become more aware of it, you find yourself returning to it more easily, allowing it to guide you throughout your day. This peace does not remove responsibility, but it changes the way you carry it. You still care, you still act, you still engage with life, but without the weight of anxiety pressing on you. Your actions become more thoughtful, your decisions more grounded, your presence more calm. This is the fruit of releasing anxiety and receiving divine peace. A life that is not driven by fear, but guided by a quiet and steady assurance. As you remain in this moment, allow yourself to fully receive what God is offering. There is nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to achieve, nothing you need to prove. Simply be here, simply be open, simply allow His peace to continue filling every part of you. Let it reach into your thoughts, your emotions, your body, your spirit. Let it quiet every restless place, bringing a sense of calm that goes beyond words. And as this peace continues to settle within you, you begin to realize that it is not something temporary, not something that will fade when this moment ends. It is something that remains, something that grows, something that becomes a part of your daily life. You carry it with you, not as something you have to hold on to tightly, but as something that naturally flows from your connection with God. Even when anxiety tries to return, you now know where to go. You know how to pause, how to breathe, how to release, how to receive. You know that you are not alone in the process, that God is with you, gently guiding you back into peace. And with each return, the path becomes more familiar, the peace becomes more accessible, the calm becomes more natural. So remain here for a moment longer, resting in this gentle awareness, allowing God's presence to continue its quiet work within you, bringing release where there was tension, calm where there was restlessness, and a deep, steady peace that carries you softly into the rest of your day. There is a quiet invitation from God that often comes not with urgency, but with a gentle pull on the heart, a soft awareness that your thoughts can be different, that your inner world can feel lighter, clearer, and more aligned with truth. Many times, the thoughts that fill the mind are shaped by what you have experienced, what you have heard, and what you have felt in moments of uncertainty. They can become patterns, subtle, familiar, and sometimes unnoticed, guiding the way you respond to life. Yet God, in His kindness, calls you into a deeper alignment, not by force but by love, inviting your thoughts to rest in what is true, steady, and life-giving. As you sit quietly, begin to notice the flow of your thoughts, not to judge them, not to control them, but simply to become aware. Some thoughts may feel heavy, some may feel restless, some may carry a sense of doubt or fear. And in this awareness, there is no need to resist or react. Instead, gently bring your attention to God's presence, allowing His truth to begin to shape what you are thinking. This is not about replacing every thought instantly, but about creating space for His voice to become clearer than the noise. God's truth is not distant or complicated. It is simple, steady, and deeply reassuring. It speaks of who you are, of His love for you, of His faithfulness in every season. And as you begin to align your thoughts with this truth, something within you starts to shift. The thoughts that once felt overwhelming begin to soften. The patterns that once felt fixed begin to loosen, and a new way of thinking begins to emerge. One that is grounded not in fear, but in peace. There is a gentle process in this alignment, a quiet transformation that takes place over time. You may not notice it all at once, but with each moment of awareness, with each decision to turn your thoughts toward God, you are allowing His truth to reshape your mind. This is not about perfection, not about never having a negative thought again, but about creating a new rhythm, a new direction, a new way of being that is rooted in His presence. Sometimes the mind tries to hold on to old ways of thinking, returning to familiar patterns, even when they no longer serve you. This is natural, but it does not have to define you. You can gently redirect your thoughts, not with frustration, but with patience, reminding yourself of what is true. When a thought arises that brings fear, you can quietly return to the awareness of God's peace. When doubt begins to form, you can gently remember His faithfulness. This is how alignment happens, not through force, but through consistent, gentle redirection. As you continue in this process, you may begin to notice that your thoughts become more stable, more grounded, less reactive. Instead of being carried by every passing thought, you begin to observe them, to choose which ones you allow to remain. This creates a sense of clarity, a calm awareness that gives you space to respond rather than react. And in that space, God's presence becomes more evident, guiding you, steadying you, bringing a quiet confidence into your mind. There is also a deep sense of peace that comes from knowing that your thoughts do not have to define your reality. They are not always accurate. They are not always true, and they do not have the final say. God's truth is the foundation, the steady ground beneath you, the place where your thoughts can rest. And as you align with that truth, you begin to experience a different kind of peace. One that is not easily shaken, one that remains even when circumstances change. You may find that this alignment begins to influence the way you see yourself. Thoughts that once carried criticism or doubt begin to lose their power, replaced by a gentle awareness of God's love and acceptance. You begin to see yourself not through the lens of past experiences or current challenges, but through the lens of His truth. This shift brings a quiet confidence, a sense of worth that is not based on performance, but on identity. As your thoughts align with God's truth, your perspective on life also begins to change. Situations that once felt overwhelming may now feel manageable, not because they are smaller, but because your inner response has changed. You are no longer approaching life from a place of fear, but from a place of peace. This does not remove challenges, but it changes how you experience them, allowing you to remain calm and steady even in uncertain moments. There is also a gentle awareness that begins to grow, an awareness of God's presence in your everyday thoughts. You begin to notice how He gently guides you, how His truth quietly influences your thinking, how His peace remains with you throughout the day. This awareness becomes a source of comfort, a reminder that you are not navigating life alone, but with a constant, steady presence that is always with you. In this alignment, there is freedom. Freedom from the pressure to think perfectly. Freedom from the weight of negative patterns. Freedom to simply be present and open. You do not have to force your thoughts into place. You only need to remain connected to God's presence. allowing His truth to naturally shape what you think. This connection becomes the foundation, the place where your thoughts find their rest. As you continue to walk in this alignment, you may notice that your mind feels lighter, less burdened, more at ease. The constant effort to manage every thought begins to fade, replaced by a gentle flow, a natural rhythm that is guided by peace. This does not mean that difficult thoughts will never arise, but it means that they no longer have the same influence. You are able to notice them, to acknowledge them, and to let them pass without holding on to them. There is also a deep sense of trust that begins to form, a quiet confidence that God is guiding your thoughts in ways you may not fully understand. You begin to trust that you do not have to control everything, that you can allow your mind to rest, knowing that He is present and active within you. This trust brings a sense of calm that extends beyond your thoughts, touching every part of your life. As you remain in this moment, allow yourself to fully receive this alignment. There is nothing you need to force, nothing you need to achieve. Simply be present, simply be open, simply allow God's truth to continue shaping your thoughts. Let it bring clarity where there was confusion, calm where there was tension, and a deep, steady peace that remains with you. You may begin to notice that this alignment is not limited to this moment, but continues throughout your day. In small ways, in quiet moments, in simple decisions, your thoughts begin to reflect the peace you are experiencing now. This becomes a way of living, a gentle awareness that stays with you, guiding you, grounding you, bringing a sense of calm into everything you do. And as this alignment continues to grow, you begin to experience a deeper connection with God, a sense of closeness that is not based on effort, but on presence. Your thoughts become a place where His truth is welcomed, where His peace is felt, where His presence is known. And in that place, there is a quiet joy, a gentle assurance, a steady calm that carries you softly forward into each new moment of your day. As we come to this gentle close, remain right where you are for a moment. Let the stillness stay with you. There is no need to rush away from this peace. God has been speaking softly to your heart, calming your thoughts, and restoring a quiet strength within you. Just breathe slowly and allow His presence to linger like a warm covering resting over your mind and spirit. Take a moment to notice how you feel now compared to when you first began. Even if the change feels small, even if it is just a slight sense of calm, that is the work of God within you. His peace does not always arrive loudly, but it settles deeply. And what He has started in this moment, He will continue throughout your day as you stay aware of Him. As you go forward, carry this peace gently. You do not have to protect it with effort. You do not have to strive to keep it. Simply stay connected to God in small, quiet ways. Through your breathing, through your thoughts, through your awareness of His presence. Let this calm become your natural rhythm as you move through the day. If at any moment you feel your thoughts becoming heavy again, just pause. Return to this place. Take a slow breath, and remember that God's peace is still with you. It has not left, it has not faded. You can step back into it as easily as you did just now, allowing it to settle over you once more. Let your heart remain open to God's gentle leading today. He may guide you in quiet ways, through simple thoughts, through a sense of direction, through a calm assurance about what to do next. You do not need to figure everything out. You only need to stay present and trust that He is guiding you step by step. And as you continue, remember that you are not walking alone. God is with you in every moment, in your decisions, in your conversations, in your quiet thoughts. His presence surrounds you like a steady light, bringing clarity where you need it, and peace where you once felt uncertain. I encourage you, before you leave this moment, to like this video and subscribe to the channel for daily prayers that help you stay rooted in God's peace. And take a moment to write Amen in the comments as a sign of your faith, and share one thing you are believing God for today. There is something powerful about expressing your trust openly. As you step into the rest of your day, move slowly, move calmly, and let this peace guide your pace. You do not have to rush. You do not have to carry unnecessary weight. God has already gone ahead of you, preparing your path and surrounding you with His care. Let your thoughts remain aligned with truth. Let your heart stay steady, and let your spirit rest in the quiet assurance that you are held. No matter what comes, this peace will remain available to you, gently inviting you back whenever you need it. Stay in this calm awareness just a little longer, letting God's presence continue to rest upon you, letting His peace continue to flow through you, and letting this quiet moment become a foundation that carries you softly into everything that lies ahead.